Gangster Boogie by Schoolie D. And of course, you've already heard Saturday Night by Schoolie D. And you've also heard Who's Gangster Now. Now, that leaves us to only one conclusion, and that is that the great master that we're discussing this week can be no other than Schoolie D. Good evening, Schoolie. Are you there?
Yeah, it's afternoon.
What was that like, being on the phone, listening to your own music?
It was pretty fucking cool. It actually took me back into, like, that day I recorded it.
The good old days. How long ago was this?
I'm having some good new days right now. How long ago was it? 1989. 1989, before you was born.
Well, not exactly. I'm from 75, but still, I enjoyed this music growing up. So it's to me, it's an honor to have you on the phone. But I want to take you even further back, if you will let me. Let's start with a band called Grand Funk Mothership Connection. Does that ring any bells?
Yeah, it rings a lot of bells, actually, and we had a family band, but then that was my first band that I did without my brothers. And I hooked up with me, with Pimp Pretty, Royal Ron, a couple other guys, Big Pep, Lil Pep, and I fired everybody.
You fired everybody?
And I fired them all. It was not because they wanted to go play football, and I was like, yo, man, we got to go. Don't you want to grow up and be stars? Don't you want to grow up and be like George Clinton and drive fucking spaceships? And they were just like, no, we want to go play football. So I said, you're fired. And they're like, good luck. I'm like, good luck with what? Playing all the instruments, asshole.
Because back then you were just playing bass guitar, right?
Yeah, playing bass, and my brother sold his drum kit, so I talked my mother into buying me a used kick and a snare. So I had a kick and a snare, bass, I had my guitar. So what I did was I had three cassette recorders, and I would record the first part of the music on that, and play it back and record and play with that, and do the vocals on the last. But that got old in about 3 months, so I just went back to painting.
Yeah, painting, that's also a big part of your life, but let's get onto that a bit later on. You were born and you have lived very close to the Mann Center of Performing Arts. Did that have any influence on you? Does that mean that you were, destined to become an artist? Or do you feel
I was destined to be an artist, but I picked this job up before I got to Earth, my brother.
Yeah,
if I'm going to Earth, I want the most interesting, fun job I can do to make people laugh, make people funk and dance and sing and drive cars and have a lot of coochie and change the world. And this was the best job. This is what I could do. So it was like I knew the day I came out of my mother's womb, I knew what I was here for. I looked around, I was like, yep.
Yeah, because you definitely have put your mark on hip-hop and rap music. I mean, if it wasn't for you, with all due respect, people like Ice-T, Ice Cube would never dream of, talking about gangster rap, because you started all that. You invented talking about the struggle and hustle on the street.
Yeah.
What gave you that idea? What was the vision that you had that said, this is what I live, this is what I need people to know about me?
I think it was a lot of things. It was like the right time. It was magic, and it was like rap was at a point. At a point, I'm going to say if it wasn't for like 5 or 6 groups that came out between '83 and '86, it would be hip hop would have just died. I mean, it seemed like they were going for the radio. They were making radio rap. All the stuff coming out of New York was kind of like they were kind of heading straight for the radio, and I was just kind of like, that's not funk, that's not fun, that's not real. And me being naive, because I was raised to be an artist, I didn't think I had to water down anything to get played on the radio. I thought my thinking was the art should speak for itself. You understand what I'm saying? So
it definitely did.
My art spoke for myself. I knew I was gonna be successful at it. I knew I was gonna make the money at it and get the girls and stuff. But that was secondary. The first part
Was getting the message out.
Rebellious. Was getting the message out. I was raised to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? I went to art schools and I painted. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it wasn't, and in my family background, you know, we were raised to be those people. And my father raised us to grow up, to change the world, to change the viewpoint of what the world thought about Black American men. So that was, you know what I'm saying? So at 7, when I got that job, I stayed the course.
Yeah, you definitely have. Just taking it back to that childhood once again, you know, right now we've painted a picture that it was all, you know, picture perfect. You had a bass guitar, you had your family band, and you were raised to be an artist, but it wasn't all fun and jokes when you grew up.
No, it was I'm going to say what happened in America is pretty much what's happening now. Like, at one moment, like, you had, like, really good middle-class Black family neighborhoods, 2 cars, and, you know, fathers, and everybody worked, and it was still gangs. It was still gang wars because we were still trying to figure out, Black people and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans were still trying to figure out their way in white society.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a lot of that. But we, like, you know, after throwing like bottles at the police, we still had to go play football. We understood we still were going to grow up. And then I think like around the 80s when families started to break up, and they took like General Motors, didn't make Cadillacs in the area anymore, and stuff like that. And, like, those jobs started to dry up. I think that's when people started just kind of like going after things, just reaching and grabbing at things for themselves. And then came crack.
Yeah, exactly. You already said at the start of the interview, there's not just good old days, there's also good new days. You took your course from rap and started making theatrical music, and you went into the cartoon business. What's new? What's happening?
Yeah. Well, right now we're doing the 14. I didn't even know it's been 14. It's been 14 years for the Aqua Team Hunger Force on Cartoon Network. 14 seasons. So we're doing it last year. I'm actually heading back into the studio. We're redoing the theme song. That Abel Farrar moved to Italy, and I'm heading over later on this year to do another film with him. I still do films. I'm doing a cartoons, animated film about Parkside. I still tour. I'm right now. I'm just like, I'm painting and sculpting. I just picked up my brush again last year. I'm working on like my fifth show. So my paintings are album cover inspired, because I'm thinking like all the album covers, if you really look at it, they had to interpret the music that you were about to see or about to listen to. You know, so you look at the best album. So that's what I use for my album cover art. It's like I wanted you to not just listen, but to have a visual of what Schoolly D's music is. And I took that straight from George Clinton and Roy Ayers and Miles Davis, and so I create album cover art.
Yeah, and some cover arts are really, you know, an entire story by themselves.
Yeah, they are, and those are the things that inspired me. And I also do postmodern and Danish furniture. So I also have a furnished business where I just find unique pieces, unique speakers, and I redo them, repaint them. You know, I just think it's like light, music, and art. Those are my things. Besides the politics.
Yeah, besides,
because I'm always involved with the politics.
Exactly, everyone is.
I'm not one of these Black Americans who are like, I don't want to be known as an American. I don't want to be known as a Black American or a Black artist or a Black. Like, man, shut the F up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to be, because it's like we're back in the stone ages of America now, where it's like they just like shooting these little brown kids, and they're talking about holding the borders, like too many Black people, too many Mexicans in this country. You know what I'm saying? It's like and our music used to be our conscious level, our conscious meter, and we escaped it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to help bring it back.
Yeah, please do. I heard you're still touring. Any chance you might be hopping by the Netherlands?
Yes.
Good.
You know what? I'm working with a guy. We're doing a me and MC Shan. We're doing a Schoolie D versus MC Shan, Philly versus New York tour.
Wicked.
And yes, it should be coming through either late January and early February, then coming back late spring.
If you happen to be in the Netherlands on a Wednesday night, could you pop by the studio and drop something live?
You know I'm going to be there, so don't even front.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know I'm going to be there.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have any more time in this hour. I would like to converse with you for hours on end, to be honest. But, well, we have a show to do, unfortunately. I thank you very much for letting us know you're still out there. You're still fighting for the good cause and, you know, having a lot of fun every day. For, you know,
every day,
just period.
Every day.
Yeah. And that's the meaning of life. Exactly. And keep bringing that positive message. And, well, we'll hope to greet you in the studio shortly.
Send me your email. I'll send you one of my unreleased tracks for the new record. All right. And I'll shoot one to you by the weekend.
Will do. We'll contact you by Facebook. Right. And thank you very much for having this conversation, Schoolie.
All right, my brother. All right, peace. Out.